Everybody, welcome to Friday's episode, A15 Sports Podcast here with Jake and Cole. We're going to talk a little bit today about the SEC trying to get rid of field storms. The Cubs win 5-2 against the Padres. They win their fifth series out of their last six. We'll touch on the NBA playoff games tonight, and we'll touch a little bit on the draft. We don't have a whole bunch of insight, but we'll talk a little bit on it. And then Jake wants to talk a lot about the Cubs in Illinois. So we'll really touch on those two things today. But to start it off, we're going to kick off with the SEC trying to get rid of field storms. So they've been talking about taking away home games from schools. So like they schedule 3 or 4 years ahead of time, you might play a team on the road 2 out of 3 times in the next 3 years. So you'll have one home game. And they're talking about if your crowd storms the field before or after the game, that they'll take away a home game. So then you just have 3 straight away games against maybe a team like Auburn. So like a big thing was last year after Tennessee beat Alabama at home and a day before LSU beat Bama at home. It always has to do with teams beating Bama when they storm the field. But the commissioner, Greg Sankey, made an event safety group, and this was after the Tennessee fans tore down that goalpost and took it out of the stadium and like let it float down a river. Like, who cares? I thought it was cool, but they're doing it really, I feel like, because of safety concerns and liability. They don't want to get sued or somebody get hurt or injured or even worse, potentially death. So the safety group consists of Bama's athletic director, Georgia's, Kentucky's, and it sounds like a decision will be made at their spring meetings in June in Destin, Florida.
Is this just SEC or is this college football as a whole?
This is just the SEC conference.
Because Illinois did it a couple years ago when they beat Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why does everything got to be a big problem now? Every time something happens that some people don't like, we try to change it. We try to switch it. Like, how long have they been tearing down those goalposts? They've been doing it for years. I mean, all the way back to when Illinois beat Michigan in like the 60s or 70s. It was one big game. They tore down the goalpost. I mean, it's been going on for decades and years. It's just so frustrating that now they try to take everything away. I mean, look, if you don't want to get court stormed, don't lose, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same with Duke. When I've watched Duke for the past 10 years, and Coach K said it a long time ago. He goes, look, we just got to come in and play better, and we won't get court stormed. We're the better team, but guess what? The better team don't always win, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially in a one game, instead of like a 7-game series. But like right now, their current policy that they have is only a $50,000 fine. If it happens again in the same season, it's a $100,000 fine, which is absolutely nothing to these schools.
No shit. I mean,
and then $250,000 each time after that. So they bring in so much money, they don't care about these fines at all.
That's fine. Just keep the fine policy. Don't make teams lose a home game, or don't make the students who, let's be honest, the students kind of make college football atmosphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
At a lot of stadiums. So let's not make them unhappy and like give them another reason to not go. Like
So it says here that like each of the last 7 times that Alabama's lost on the road, the home team has stormed the field. And, basically the idea of taking away home game. Well, I already touched on that. But, yeah, I agree with Jake. I don't think they should get rid of this. Hopefully they don't. I would expect even if they did that it's going to be very hard for a security team to stop 100,000 people trying to get onto the field.
Well, here's what they've done in basketball, which I know you can't do in football because the game might not be over till literally like Tennessee kicked the game-winning field goal at 0.
Mm-hmm.
In college basketball, I'll go back to Duke because they're like the Alabama in football, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a team beats Duke or Alabama, there's probably an 80% chance they're going to storm. So what they were doing before when Coach K was still there is they would, if there was like 35 or 40 seconds left, they would start ushering some of the coaches off the floor, some of the bench players off the floor. And if there was like 15 or 20 seconds left and Duke was down by 10, they would even let the players just go and let the time run out. And then guess what? They're gone. So,
And that's a lot easier because there's less people on a basketball team.
You can't do that in football. You can't because, I mean, maybe if Alabama was down by 3 touchdowns with 2 minutes left, but what are the odds of that? You know what I mean? Like, if Alabama's going to lose, it's probably not going to be by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
I think they want to, like, even last year, there's been incidents where the fans will storm the field and they'll start lipping off to an opposing player as he's walking off. And don't get me wrong, there's like 80 players on a college football team, you know, among other people and coaches and training staff. So, like, maybe a player might throw a punch or push somebody.
I get it. They're trying to stop, like, destruction.
Yeah.
Of the teams, the players, the fans. But I just think we're soft. This it's soft. It's all it is. Like, why wasn't this a problem 10 years ago?
Because we weren't worried about
everything. We weren't videotaping everything. So if a player hit a fan, you didn't see it. Now you see everything.
Yeah, like Anthony Edwards is somebody who's taking him to court over assault. Because did you see what he did after the game? He missed like a game-tying 3 against the Nuggets. They're in Game 5.
Oh, and he threw a chair?
And he didn't throw it. He just swung it. And I guess maybe I don't know, the lady didn't even fall down. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have done it, right?
I mean,
he shouldn't have done it. But, I mean, it wasn't, like, directed
at anybody.
He was just pissed off because he missed a tiny shot.
But you probably can't do that because
you definitely
you can knock him out.
But I'm saying that, like, that person's taking him to court over, like, assault.
Well,
which could potentially put him in prison.
TMZ is the fucking worst. Let's just get that out of here. Get that out of the way. Did you see that James Harden, I don't know where he was. He was with a group of people, and they were walking out of a door. And it was kind of like maybe in an alley or like maybe at the back of a stadium or something. And he just like slapped. I don't know who he was talking to, but it wasn't even hard. It was just like a casual, like, I don't know what it was, but they better hope that since it's on TMZ, it's already come to light, but they better hope that don't interfere with this playoffs, the run that they're in. Because, they're about to play Boston, right?
Yeah.
So
you better hope that, whoever wins that series might win it all. But you better hope that Joel plays, because if Joel don't play, they're not going to win. They're definitely not going to beat the Celtics.
For sure.
We'll head on to the Cubs. So the Cubs have won their 5th series out of their last 6. They beat the Padres, who are a pretty good team. They got a hell of a lot of talent on their team.
Best lineup in baseball? I think so.
It's pretty close.
They
got a damn good team.
Do you know what their 1 through 5 was over the weekend?
I don't know, but they had Tatis, they got Soto, Machado, Xander Bogaerts.
And then even that Cronenworth.
Yeah good. Don't they have Sean Murphy, a catcher, too?
I don't think he caught. He might. I don't remember.
Well, he's on the Padres, I do believe.
But, so
on the Braves.
Their 1 through 4 are literally all-stars, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a tough 4 to navigate through. That was a nice series win, and say what you want, it's early, their bats will get going. We can only tell you what happened, right? That's what happened. Like, they struggled, and they're still struggling. They're a game under 500. But anyways, like he said, the Cubs have won 5 out of their last 6. That one loss series is coming to the Dodgers, but they've also beaten the Dodgers in a series on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're 3-4 versus the Dodgers this year. So that's fine. How good the Dodgers have been the last decade, like, they're literally what you want your franchise to be every year. You should strive to be like the Dodgers.
They made the playoffs each of the last 10 years.
That doesn't mean that don't mean you win it all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not get that out of. Sure, they won Mickey Mouse year, but that's it, right? Like, they haven't won 182 games a year, 81 and 81.
162. It was in the regular season, but
81 on the road and 81 at home.
Yeah.
So they have not won a World Series where they've played a full season. But you should strive to be like the Dodgers. So that 3-4 is fine. Nobody really thought the Cubs were going to be 14-10. They are
3 games back of the division.
3 games back in the division.
The Pirates are playing their ass off,
which I think they will come down to earth. I think the Brewers will kind of stay where they are the whole year. I think the Cubs can potentially stay where they are throughout the whole year, because I honestly think the Cubs have way more talent than the Pirates. I think the Pirates are just hot. So I think over 100 games, you'll see that.
Yeah.
But so anyways, I've got some stats here on the Cubs because, believe it or not, even though they're 14-10, which is a good Let's be honest. It's a good record. It's probably
It's 22 now.
oh,
Yeah, it just advanced yesterday. It was 20 the other day. Now it's 22.
what's 22? How many games we played?
No, how many games he's been on base in a row?
Oh yeah, see. So I had this written down for a couple days ago. But anyways, so Nico Horner is third in the whole entire league at on base. It's at 22 games. I think Xander Bogaerts is leading with 24. Yeah. And then I don't remember who the second guy was. But anyways, Nico Horner's been the best Cub all year. I think he's got the most hits on the team. I probably have that written down here somewhere. But he plays the game the right way. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
His approach.
But in every aspect, Nico Horner plays. And on both sides, he takes pitches. He doesn't really walk a lot, but he takes pitches and works the count to where they've got to throw him a good pitch to hit. He gets clutch hits. He gets it. I mean, he's the best leadoff hitter we've had since Dexter Fowler.
And he's much better at leading off.
Very good defensively. I think he leads the league in stolen bases.
He might, yeah.
I probably can't believe I don't have that written down. I think Nico Horner leads the lead in stolen bases. So for them to lock him up for the next 3 years, right?
Yeah, 3. It's probably 4 because he's probably under contract already this year.
So for this year and 3 more, I mean, we should be ecstatic to have Nico Horner and Dansby Swanson up the middle for the next 4 years. Ecstatic.
So did you know the Cubs have scored the second most runs and they've given up the fewest runs and have the largest run differential in the NL?
There you go. I've probably got kind of what he just said in a nutshell through what would be 24 games now. This is only the National League. The Cubs are they're first in runs at 5.8 runs per game. They're first in batting average. Their OPS is first. Their starters ERA is second. And their reliever ERA is 8th in the league. So, I mean, what
you can't ask for a whole lot better.
What? I mean, I don't know. I mean, sure, would you want your reliever ERA to maybe be in the top 5?
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, you can't. There are no perfect. I mean, you can't be perfect. You just can't in sports. I mean, it rarely happens.
And then Velasquez, he's looked pretty good.
I mean, look what Nelson Velasquez has done. He's come up and he's done what you think those players are going to do when they come up.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times, so from other teams, when I see like they've been in the major leagues for like a week or this is their first major league game, like they come up and they like struggle. And I'm like, I want that guy to be up to bat because I think it's an easy out.
Mm-hmm.
When the Cubs have their minor leaguers come up, it seems to be that they just rake right away. I mean, Nelson Velasquez has got, is it 2 or 3 home runs?
I think it's 2.
He's got 2 home runs.
Slam.
He's got like 4 base hits. He plays a very good center field.
And then he's up right now because Bellinger's out.
He just comes up and makes contributions, right?
Yeah.
And that's all you can ask for. And let's talk. What about Yan Gomes? I mean,
yeah. Well, the other night, when we were originally going to do the video, they won 6-0. He went
was
4 for 4 the other night.
4 for 4 with a home run.
He hit in all the runs up until Nico came up in the 8th.
I mean, he has the lowest catcher ERA in the league, entering what would have been Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm sure that hasn't changed. It's 2.87. I mean, look, you don't expect
the Cubs' record when he plays is a lot better than
when Barnhart plays, and I don't even think Tucker Barnhart's played that bad.
Yeah,
I mean he catches a solid game. He's kind of shitty offensively, like we thought Yan Gomes would be. But Yan Gomes has 5 home runs, and Wilson Contreras has 2.
Yeah,
I mean take that how you want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Cubs get it right through 25 games? Sure. Over 162 game season. That's yet to be seen.
But he's a damn good catcher, though.
But Yan Gomes is also 35, and like he's saying, that
this is a 1-year thing.
But you know what you're getting with the 35-year-old. He's the same player. He's not going to change defensively. Now, offensively, can he take steps and get better? Sure. And are we seeing that? Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of why the Cubs are winning, because Yan Gomes is hitting.
Mm-hmm. Mancini's been playing a lot better, too, lately.
Trey Mancini's been doing what he does. Not really good defensively. Got him for offense. Started out like shit. I was like, what is this guy? Don't even get me started on Eric Hosmer. He should be DFA'd. He sucks.
Did you hear that the other night? I was watching the game. You know, sometimes you can hear what the fans say in the background. And Hosmer's up to bat, and somebody yells, "Over under on a week on how long you get before you get DFA'd, Hosmer."
I'd take.
And then he struck out.
I would take the under. I would think it would need to be tomorrow. Look, I don't.
He's not bad on
you
defense.
didn't get Eric Hosmer to make contributions, but how I say that, I don't get it. Then I don't get the move if you didn't get him to do things, to do something like. So you've seen him not do anything. So get the fuck rid of him. You've got. I mean, who can we bring up? Matt Mervis, Christopher Morel. You brought up Nelson Velasquez. I mean, PCA, I don't know if this year.
Probably more of a next year thing because he's in 2A, I think.
But I think if the Cubs are really, really bad at the end of the year, I maybe for him.
I don't know. Dansby homered for the first time as a Cub
Dansby
yesterday.
Swanson homered. How good's he been? He's kind of been shaky lately with the bat. But I mean, if we'd have done a video 2 weeks ago, he'd have been the best player on the team. I mean, he was leading the team in hits. He was getting on base all the time. And he still is getting on base, right? He's walking. So his on-base percentage is still really good. Christopher Morel is going to be the next Cub brought up. And I think it would be probably if I was going to bet, I would bet it would be before Mother's Day. What do you think?
What's that in the next 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah, Mother's Day I think is 2 weeks from this weekend. I would think he's brought up by then because I don't think you can deal with Eric Hosmer's garbage ABs, Edwin Rios' garbage ABs. Who else? Who the hell's Torrens?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we have a bunch of guys. I mean,
Madrigal.
No, let's not put him in that category. I think he's above them. He has done a lot more better than.
Yeah. But you don't want him playing third every day because
you don't want him playing third. But what you're going to get from Madrigal is you're going to get grind out at bats, and the ball's going to be put in play.
He plays hard,
but he's not someone you want to play every day. Now, is he someone I want to come off the bench in the later innings and maybe pinch run or maybe be put at third or, maybe to pinch hit? Absolutely. It's better than these garbage people that we got that I just previously named. And we haven't even really got into the pitching. Mm-hmm. But their pitching has been.
Stroman and Steele have been phenomenal.
I mean,
so far.
Let's not talk about Stroman's last start versus the Dodgers. It's kind of rough. Give up 3 home runs, 5 runs.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got a 2.7 ERA in 5 starts. And I think his record is
he's 2-2.
2-2.
Well, there's been a few games where he's pitched a gem and they just haven't scored any runs, so he doesn't get the win.
But that's baseball.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin Steele has been the best pitcher in the league.
He's undefeated. He's 4-0.
Justin Steele has a 1.07 ERA in 67 innings pitched. Did you know this stat? Since the 2022 All-Star break, he has the lowest ERA in baseball since the All-Star break of last year. That's 5 months of baseball, Cole. I think it's time to start that Justin Steele starts getting national media success. But then maybe you don't. Maybe you don't want that, right? Because then maybe he gets a big head on his shoulders. I
don't think a lot of people are. I guess what I'm saying is
that's 67 innings pitched.
I don't think that a lot of people are following the Cubs that hard right now.
No,
we're not 30 games in, and
that's fine. I mean, I don't want anybody to follow the Cubs. To be honest with you, we don't need anybody to.
And then as I see, I look at your sheet down there. Bellinger's been amazing, but he's out right now with
he had
the birth
a kid.
of his daughter. So congrats to him.
I got. How good has Cody Bellinger been? Really good.
Mm-hmm.
What you got him for?
Mm-hmm.
You got him to be about a half of what he was when he won the MVP, and I think he's been.
I would say more than a half.
I think he's been about that.
I'd say a lot more than half.
What about him is he's getting hot. That's the thing. He started out slow.
He's a hell of an outfielder.
Yeah. When it's Seiya and right and Bellinger in center and Happen left, you got to hit the ball on a line and you got to hit it in the gaps. Because if it's over their head or if it's before them, odds are they run it down. And how much better is it that we have Seiya Suzuki in right field? Oh my! He's
been really good too.
I know you haven't watched as much Cubs as probably I have, but the games they lost before we had Seiya, balls in front, balls being dropped, balls going over their head, and Say's running all of them down. It is so nice to have him back.
Mm-hmm.
And he also hits the ball for slug and power. I got the Cubs are 13-9. They're obviously 14-10. They're third place in the division. They're 3 back of first. They're a game and a half back of second. They have the second wild card spot by, I think, 3 games. The Cubs have scored. Oh, this is another stat. I don't know. We might have said this on the last video. The Cubs have scored 10-plus runs so far this season 6 times. They did it 6 times all of last season. So through 20-something games, they've already done what they did last year. The Cubs have 5 shutouts. Leads the NL.
One other thing I wanted to. Well, just 2 more things. 2 more things before we end this. Talk about the Cubs here. So Hendricks began his rehab assignment last night in AAA Iowa.
He got shelled.
So what did you say?
He got shelled.
What does that mean?
He got rocked.
Oh, did he?
No,
I mean, he's definitely past his prime, but
here's what they wanted him to see. They wanted him to throw 45 pitches. They wanted to see how he felt. He threw 45 pitches and he said he felt great. He struck out back-to-back guys, and then with 2 outs they went on a rally. So he was really close. They liked what they seen. His pitches were kind of working the way they were and should. Now he just needs to get in game like flow.
So let him pitch a few more. And then another thing. So up next we got the Marlins in Miami. You got Stroman and Steele pitching this weekend, so hopefully you're going to win at least 2 of the 3 games.
And then you go to play the Nationals for 4.
Yeah.
I mean, so in those 7 games, let's go 5-2.
Yeah.
4-3 at worst.
Yep.
You know, if you split with Washington and you take 2 or 3 from Miami, I don't think anyone would complain. That would then put you at 18-13.
I'll never
That would be
complain.
fine.
I'll never complain about winning 2 or 3 every single series.
No, and even splitting. Look, these guys are major league ball players. Miami's not that bad of a team. We're lucky we're missing Miami's 1-2. Because that would be different if we were going in there and getting their 1-2. And that's how baseball works. You know, you're still playing their 1 through 9 who would play. But anyways, look, before we end the Cubs, it's still early. But you want to start off like this over how the shitty-ass White Sox are playing, right? So It is what it is. I mean, they're terrible.
Very proud of the way the Cubs have played so far this year after last year.
Kind of playing how they played in the second half, right?
Yeah.
Kind of still playing
a lot
like
better.
that.
A lot better, but yeah.
So
really quick. So tonight we got the Lakers. They're
2
at home.
games
They're
tonight?
at home against Memphis. Yeah, and then the Warriors are at home against the Kings. Both of them are looking to close out. The Lakers and Warriors looking to close out the series. LeBron had a terrible game last game.
I don't think the Lakers close the series out.
No, I think Memphis is going to take it to 7. I think
the Warriors.
I think the Warriors are going to win. I don't know if Fox doesn't break his finger on his shooting hand. I think it's a lot different. Honestly, I was kind of hoping Sacramento was going to win, but
Clay said he didn't think anybody could beat them in a 7-game series before this series started, before the playoffs started. It's starting to look like he's right. They were down 2-0, and they were losing at halftime of Game 3 at home. And now they're up 3-2 with the chance to clinch at home.
Well, I also think the NBA would be ecstatic to see a LeBron Steph in the next round.
I just don't think you're going to get that. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how the game officiated tonight.
Yeah. Well, talking about officiating, you see how many more – I mean, the Heat still won the other night, and shout out Jimmy Butler. He's been playing his ass off. But did you see how many more free throws the Bucks shot than the Heat?
It's always like that.
Like, I think it was 20-plus
so you're
free
saying
throws.
the Heat overcame that.
They did, for sure.
How good has Jimmy Butler been? And how stupid are the goddamn Chicago Bulls?
Well, and then Thibodeau, he got the second round,
how
too.
Good are how stupid are the Bulls?
Stupid.
What have we done since we got rid of Jimmy Butler?
Nothing.
Sure, we've had one good half of a season, and then our starting point guard got hurt, which the Bulls have terrible fucking luck with point guards, right?
Yeah, Jimmy should have been
Jay
a Bull
Williams,
for life.
Derrick Rose, Lonzo Ball. Every time we get a good point guard, they get hurt.
Jimmy should have been a Bull for life, and so should Tibbs. Should have been there too. I mean, really, Tibbs to Fred Hoiberg is just fucking terrible.
My thing is why do we always think we can be better than what we were? Because our better than what we were is way better than what we are now. or have been. So I hate how teams and organizations always think they can be better. And sure, you want to strive to be better, but that doesn't mean getting rid of someone who you were in the playoffs with every year, with teams that were dog shit, that had nobody, but they played hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know, here we go, getting back, this is about the Bulls.
Yeah.
But it's because we had Thibodeau, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had Butler. So it's a fair topic to be. It's a fair time. I could do a whole episode about what the Bulls have done and how they fucked up.
But just really quick on tonight's game, I got Memphis. Winning. And then I'm not going to pick against the Warriors.
Yeah,
I got the Warriors.
I got the Warriors
close
at
it
home,
out.
and I got Memphis. I think Memphis takes the series. I think they go home and win again. I think they're better than the Lakers. I just kind of think the Lakers have more superstars. So if those guys get going,
well, I mean,
reason the Lakers can't win.
If Memphis wasn't as beat up as they are, they probably would have won this game. Would have won the series in 5. I mean, because you got Steven Adams out, you had Ja miss a game. He's playing hurt as well. Really,
they were really close in Game 4.
Who else they got? That Brandon Clark, he's injured. He's out for the whole series. He's been out for a while.
And
he's
Memphis
really good.
just won with Dylan Brooks playing like shit.
He's played like shit the whole series, in my opinion.
So if he gets going and gives you 20, can you? I would ask him tonight, can you give me 20?
Dude, people just talk about Dylan Brooks because he hates on a bunch of players. He says all this and he acts like he's, the best thing.
I would like that type of player.
I don't think he's actually that good of a player, but whatever.
I don't think he's awesome, but would he be good like on our team? Sure, he'd probably be one of our best players, right? After Levine and DeRozan.
I don't know. I'd still take Caruso over him, but
I would.
Really quick, we'll touch on the draft. So the Packers picked Lucas Van Ness from Iowa last night. Big, like almost 6'6", 275 pounds, edge rusher. I think he has a chance to be really good. I'm not shocked the Packers didn't take a wide receiver or a tight end because, well, the tight end didn't even go until 25. So I'm not mad there. But as far as wide receivers, we never really take a guy in the first round offensively. So it doesn't shock me. We continue to load up on defense. But as I've said before, there's absolutely no reason why this defense should not be good with how many first round picks are on our defense. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
They don't always work out.
Well, I know, but I think part of it's because of our defensive coordinator, Joe Barry. But I'm just saying this team has first round talent all over the place on defense. So it should be good. Who knows? Tonight, the Packers are picking, if it was to reset, let's just do it like this, right? Starts from pick 1. The Packers are picking 11th and 14th or 42nd and 45th. So tonight, I think they're going to address the wide receiver. They're definitely going to address wide receiver and tight end tonight. I hope maybe we get a guy like Jalen Hyatt, Marvin Mims, or I really want that tight end out of Georgia, Darnell Washington. He's like 6'7". He's huge. He can block.
I don't really know.
The guy's insane. He's bigger than Gronk. I hope we draft him. I don't know. Do you guys even have a pick tonight?
Yeah, 51st and 85th, something like that. That's what happens when they're in win now mode, right? So they've got rid of all their picks for players so that they can win now. That's fine, but you better win now.
Yeah.
And your window is now to the next 3 or 4 years. They are kind of young. I mean, Javon Holland's young. Jalen Phillips is young.
What's Bradley Chubb in his mid to late 20s?
Bradley Chubb is in like medium.
He's not 30.
No, he's medium. Look, Cole might not agree with me, and that's fine. But roster-wise, the Dolphins might have the most talented roster in the NFL when they get Dalvin Cook. Even before Dalvin Cook. You go up and down this lineup.
I highly disagree with that statement.
Let's not add in Tua. Because obviously we know Tua is not that.
Well, you got to count him. He's on your roster if we're doing the whole roster.
Fine. I think Tua is a top 15 quarterback, so that's fine.
I'd take the 49ers roster over the Dolphins.
I mean, then you're not.
McCaffrey, Bosa, Fred Warner.
I said one.
Debo.
I didn't say the. I said one.
Oh.
They have a very talented roster. Like, it's ready to win now. And if you get Dalvin Cook, when they get Dalvin Cook, not if. He's coming to Miami. I don't know when. you have everything. You have everything you could want. You have two of the best cornerbacks in the league. You have one of the best edge rushers in Jalen Phillips, who already was, almost led the league in tackles. Javon Holland as a safety. You got or what's his name? Whatever his name is to protect
Christian
Tua.
Wilkins, Chubb, Teron Armstead.
Look, you can always get another they can always get another offensive lineman. I'm never going to complain about that, which they probably need one more. And then you've got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and what's that big? He just came from. I think he came from the Jets. Robbie Anderson, or is it Chosen
Anderson? He changed his name too. He ain't that good.
It's fast. You don't need him to be good. Look, we don't need players to be good, Cole. We need players to do their job, right?
Yeah, well, if you're going to be good, you got to be good at your job.
Give me Chosen Anderson running a 5-yard slant and breaking a tackle and running for 60 yards. He can do that because he's really fast. But anyways,
Third
and
option.
Then Dalvin Cook coming out of the backfield with who's the other? See, I'm not in football mode right now. But who
you guys got Myles Gaskin?
Well, I don't know. It ain't gonna be him. Who was it? Shit. But anyways, I'm just telling you, the roster, they're ready to win now. They're gonna go as far as Tua takes them.
Yeah. Well, while we're talking about the draft, though, I'm not surprised that Bryce Young went 1. I am pretty shocked that the Texans gave up what they did to move up and pick 3rd after they picked 2nd. I
thought it was impressive.
I mean, the biggest shock of the night for me was that Will Levis didn't get drafted in the first round. I bet you he goes in the first 3 picks in the second round. What else? Well, the Bills, they got a lot better. They got the top tight end in the draft.
What do we think of the Bears pick? I think it's okay.
There's not you. I'm not gonna sit here and bash an offensive line pick.
You can't.
I do think the Eagles made out exceptionally well. I mean, back-to-back years they get a total of 4 stellar defensive players from Georgia. So they got Nolan Smith and they got Jalen Carter, who a lot of people, before all the other stuff went on, thought that Jalen Carter might be the number 1 pick in the draft, right? And then they got Nolan Smith, who is exceptionally fat. The Eagles got better. I mean, the rich got richer. They're going to be a team to reckon with again next year.
Right.
So we'll see. Tonight will be fun to watch, and after tonight, I don't know how much I'll pay attention.
How stacked is the AFC?
Pretty stacked.
I mean, it is light years better than the NFC.
It is.
I mean, it is like
I can't argue with
that. It is like here and then like here. I mean, the quarterbacks in the AFC. I mean, there's going to be 2 or 3 great quarterbacks left out.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere you
got Burrow, Herbert, Mahomes, Allen, Rodgers,
Jackson.
There's 6. We're probably forgetting somebody.
Well,
you said Allen.
You got 6, and then.
Well, I mean, then your second tier is guys like Tua.
I'm not really gonna put Mac Jones. I don't really.
Mac Jones sucks. He sucks.
Tua's record versus a lot of these better quarterbacks.
Oh well, Watson.
Yeah, there we go.
If he starts playing well, he sucked.
Yeah, another
last year.
One. So there's 7.
Yeah.
Who are we forgetting? The AFC East. We've done them. What about Trevor Lawrence?
Yep, Trevor Lawrence played his ass off last year.
Like
he's the best quarterback in that division.
Who else? We did that's the AFC South.
Well, you got Richardson now there with the Colts. You don't know what he is though, so you can't really.
So anyways,
Tannehill.
And then Tannehill and the Titans. They're
Tannehill's
always
done.
there.
Yeah, but they're at the end of their reign.
I would agree. And then I would put 2. I think 2 is a top. I'd put him at 7, maybe 7, 8, or 9 in the AFC.
Okay, so just top 10.
I would say he's a top 10 AFC quarterback.
Yeah.
But now, granted, don't forget about the top 6 or 7. Those guys are great. So there's no shame in being right below them.
Well, there's even tiers to that, right? You got Mahomes and Rodgers, tier 1.
I mean, I would put Josh Allen on the tier 1.
Yeah. And then tier 2, you got Burrow at the top of that one. You can put Burrow in tier 1.
Put Burrow in tier 1, maybe.
But anyways, and then you look at the NFC. You got Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, And then after that, in my
Daniel
opinion,
Jones.
it falls off. Okay, he is not elite. He got overpaid, in my opinion.
But that's what I'm saying.
Kirk Cousins, no.
Okay, but do you
Dak.
Okay, Dak.
I don't know. He's okay.
So do you see what I'm trying to say? Like every time an AFC team plays a game next year, it might be must-watch TV.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
The AFC's really, really good. Like
the NFC's wide open, man. That's why
the NFC's wide open.
That's why. Well, besides the Eagles, man, I honestly think the Packers can make
Dallas.
the playoffs. San Francisco will figure it out like they always do, but I honestly think the Packers can make the playoffs. They could win the division.
One Eagles, 2 Niners, 3 Dallas, 4 Minnesota. I don't know.
No, I honestly, if Minnesota will probably be a wild card team next year. Maybe the Lions win that division. I seriously think the Packers might win the division.
I think the Bears have a good chance to win the division.
Yeah.
I think the NFC
wide
North
open.
is wide open as it's ever been in my 26 years of existence.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Any one of those 4 teams could win it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the Cardinals are better next year. I don't know.
The only reason I would slide against picking the Packers is because I don't know anything about Jordan Love.
Nobody does, but we still have a pretty decent roster.
That's why they're that's why they're a team that you can flip and be like, they can be really good, or they could potentially be really bad.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. I do think we'll see how it plays out. But anyways, we'll move on. Last thing we're going to touch on today is Illinois basketball. So Jake, take it away.
So there's been a lot with this portables crap. There's been a lot going on for Illinois. If you haven't been following, now look they haven't been hitting grand slams. They've been hitting like doubles and singles. And guess what? I'd rather you do that because how did those home runs work out last year for you? Right? How good was Matthew Meyer?
I don't know, mediocre.
Okay. That was a home run higher.
I was never impressed with
how he played.
Really, Shannon Jr. had some good moments, but after the first couple weeks, he never really.
The thing with Terrence Shannon is he was first Big Ten team. He was on the first. I mean, he was good. Here's the thing. Shannon had a couple games early on where you're like, shit, can he average 30 all year? Just not going to happen, especially in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged 20-something points per game in the Big Ten. That's pretty good. But anyways, Illinois has added 2 experienced senior players. And former Mr. Wisconsin, he's from SIU, Marcus Dumask. I probably absolutely butchered that name. He's averaging 17 points per game, 35% from 3-point, and 88% from the free throw line. So look, say what you want about not knowing much about this guy. This guy leads SIU in points.
All time?
I think. Don't quote me on that because this was a couple weeks ago when they got him. But here's what RJ Melendez gave you last year, 6 points per game, and he shot 26% from the 3-point field. So you've upgraded from RJ to that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Major
How
upgrade.
tall is this guy?
Major upgrade. God, now see, that's the one thing I didn't write down.
Does he play point guard or what?
No.
Oh.
Probably power forward or a shooting guard.
Hopefully he's at least 6'4".
But anyways, so then they got Justin Harmon, who is from Chicago. He averages 14 points per game. He shoots 34% from the 3-point line. He is a 73% free throw shooter. Look, all those stats are all better than last year. Look at what you got from Epps. You got 9.5 points per game for Epps, and he was a 30% 3-point shooter. So if this Harmon replaces that at 34% and 73%, it's better than Epps by 5 points. And how good did we think Jaden Epps was last year at times?
Yeah.
He looked unguardable.
Yeah. One thing I will say, now a lot of these guys from smaller schools come in and they play really well. But when you look at those stats, and then they're going to be coming in and playing against 4- and 5-star recruits and very seasoned guys all year long, it might not translate the way that you're portraying it to. That's all I'm saying.
Their points might go down.
Their field percentage, the free throw percentage probably going to change.
Could stay the same. But as long as here's the thing with Illinois, they've got to make shots when they're open. So if these guys can do that, that's fine. Because you've got Luke Goody. Look, I'm not going to get into the whole roster yet because we have no idea what the roster is going to be yet. I've got written down here, I'm still confident that the Illini return either Coleman Hawkins or Terrence Shannon Jr. or both. If they return just one of them, look out. They also added Quincy Quincy Greer.
Year.
I can't. That's probably we just butchered it. He's from Oregon. He's also played on Syracuse. Now he's 6'9", 220. He can do it all, and he's a very good rebounder. What else do I have on him? What did he average? I didn't write that down. Anyways, I think when he was at Syracuse, he averaged about 20 points a game one year, and at Oregon, he averaged 9. Like I said, Underwood said this guy can do it all, and they actually recruited this guy before he came in, like when after his senior, like during his senior year. So Underwood really wanted him, and they really swung for the fence and got him. So you've already gotten 3 guys who are ready to go, who are seniors. So you're experienced, right? And like I said, Coleman Hawkins or Terrence Shannon Jr. Terrence Shannon Jr. is still working out in Champaign with the guys. So I don't know what's going on there. Now, Coleman Hawkins, I think he did fly home because I think he lives in Cali. So I think he is working out with some scouts. I'm just saying, Illinois has a chance to be, on paper, probably a top 10 team ranked, maybe top 15. If they don't get Coleman Hawkins or Terrence Shannon, they flirt with being ranked, maybe not ranked, but still a team that, you don't know about. But I don't think they're done. I got written down here, R.J. Davis. It was from Toledo, their point guard. He averaged 20 points a game, and he shot 37% from the three-point line. He's from Plainfield, Illinois. Huge ties to Illinois and Underwood. They need a point guard. We have tons of veterans, right? I just told you all about them. We need a point guard. If they get this guy, it makes up for not getting both of those. Not both, just one. So if you get this guy, and if you get Ray J, whatever his name is, and then maybe say you get Coleman.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I got it written down right here. Where do I got? Underwood. Brad Underwood doesn't rebuild, he reloads. This team is not rebuilding by bringing in seniors.
Well, I don't know. I think last year they still won 20 games, but last year was a down year.
Last year was a down year.
And they weren't a team that, in my opinion, played together at all. They weren't a team. But in years past, they definitely seem more like a team.
You're not going to have that. You're not going to have that
every year.
Much. No, you're not going to have that much at all anymore ever, because there's going to be so much movement. You're not going to have teams staying together. That team stayed together. That's why they were good, and they choked in March. And we're going to have an episode where we just talk about Brad Underwood in Illinois, because I'm sick of the Brad Underwood hate, and I cannot wait to put all them people to shame. But that's for another day. And then I got a couple of little things I want to say here. I think this is going to be a huge year for Ty Rodgers. I know you know about him because you watch him a lot. What do you think?
I agree. I think he plays amazing defense. He outworks. When he's on the floor, he makes all the hustle plays.
He outworks everybody on the court.
He's tall. He's athletic. Hopefully.
There were flashes last year where you're like, man, Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me.
Hopefully, hopefully he comes in and has a big year for us next year. I think he could make the biggest jump if that's who I had to bet on.
And then, what did you think about Dane Danger last year?
I don't know. At times, early on, I was pretty impressed with it. But then at times last year,
I got Dane Danger shot 64% from the field. 100. He was 130, and he made 130 shots and took 204. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He was first in the Big Ten in 2-point field goals. I mean, I don't know what Illinois fans have the biggest heads out of any fan base I've ever seen. Like, Dane Danger can't, we expect him never to miss a shot. We expected every time Luke Goody shot a 3 to go in.
Always expect that when you
I know,
watch the
but
game,
we just expect so much. And that's what
happens when you're good for a while. Your expectations go up. But talking about the big head and stuff, Barstool picked Oklahoma as the most obnoxious college football fans.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think
that's what they picked.
I think you were obnoxious last year by saying they were going to go 13-0. But I don't think you're an obnoxious fan. I think you tell the truth. They sucked last year, and you said they were terrible.
Yeah. Maybe they'll.
I don't know who. maybe Tennessee. Tennessee's in there for obnoxious. But anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all we got for this. We'll be back again. We'll try to do another video next week. But everybody have a good weekend and go Cubs.
Yeah.